Hi people, Daniel from Devon Sons Guitars here, and today I'm going to show you how to change the bridge position on your Hofner Violin Bass, which is vitally important for a correct setup. So the tail stop piece here is what holds the ball end of the string in place, and obviously the other end of the strings goes in the machine heads and they're tied off there. But it's the pressure of these pulling down that holds the actual bridge itself in place. So this bridge can move backwards and forwards, left and right if it's not held in place. Now, you don't want it to go too far left or right, or up and down depending on the angle you're looking at, because that will affect how your strings position on the fretboard. Too far in one direction and you'll find that the strings are too close to the edge of the fretboard on one side, too far the other direction, and they're too close on the other side, so you want to get it right in the middle. And that basically is lining up with the markers on the pickup. So the reason you have to get this position exactly right is that's highly important on intonation. Now, I think intonation is one of the key things you need to know when you're setting up. The 12th fret should be exactly half of the length of the string. Now imagine you're holding down at the 12th fret. What's going to happen when you pluck your string is you're going to vibrate the bit of the string between the bridge and your finger at the 12th fret. Because it is exactly half the length of the entire open string, will play the same note as the open string, but an octave higher. Now imagine you haven't got your guitar correctly intonated. Your guitar string is a bit short because your bridge, or the saddles on the bridge, are a bit closer to the 12th fret than they should be. This will mean when you hold down the 12th fret and pluck it, what you're finding is you're plucking a bit of string which isn't quite half the length of the guitar string, and it will sound sharp. If your bridge was too far back, your string is now going to be slightly longer past the 12th fret to the bridge, and that will make your note slightly flat. The string length is key, and as you can see on here, the saddles on this bridge are angled, and that's because what happens is the thicker your string is, so the gauge is what we often refer to there, the thicker your string gauge, the higher the number of the string gauge, the further back your saddle is going to need to be in order to get the correct intonation. And conversely, the thinner your string is, the further forward it's going to be. Now, if you want to know all the theory behind that, please check out my string gauge videos. I'll link them below. So now the length that your string has to be is in relation to the distance between each fret. And guitars come in different scale lengths. Scale length is always determined by the length from the nut, or in this case, because there's a 0 fret, the very top of the 0 fret, to the 12th fret. So if I measure that, and I'll do it in inches because that's the standard scale that we measure in, it's 15 inches. 15 inches from the top of the 0 fret to the top of the 12th fret. And that needs to be exactly half the length of the string. Now, I've just said that the bass string needs to be further back and the high string needs to be further forward because of the string length. So I set my bridge as my starting point at exactly the midpoint of it, exactly 15 inches from that 12th fret. So exactly double the 12th fret is into the middle of my bridge here. So let me just set that. So that actually means it's going to come quite a way forward. There we go. I would always now double check that my bridge is in the right position this way, so we don't have the problem I just mentioned with the strings on it. Now I'm going to tighten the strings until they're in tune, and then check the intonation. So check that I'm getting the open E, and at the 12th fret I'm getting exactly an octave higher, high E. And if that is correct, then this saddle is in the right place. And then I'll do it for the other strings. There's a limit to how much you can change on this bridge because you can't move the individual saddles, but you can slightly tilt the bridge so one end is further back than the other. Now what I have here is a perfect G when I play it open, but when I play it at the 12th fret, so that's an octave higher, it's a bit sharp. So as it's a bit sharp, I need to move it backwards a little bit. So let's just tip it a little bit. Oh, that might be too far. Let's just tune again. That's in tune open. Still too sharp. There we go. So now look, I can see this is a big angle. So actually I'm going to pull this back because I'm pretty certain the top's going to be wrong. There we go. Let's just check again. Right, then let's try the E. Oh, what a lovely sound. Ideally, you should do all of this in playing position. So with the bass not lying flat on the table like this, but it's quite hard for me to do that in film. I'm not doing this by ear, I actually have a tuner just off shot. So it's fractionally sharp, so I'm going to just attempt to move it slightly. There we go, let's see what I can do now. So you can see each time I move the bridge, I have to retune my guitar because obviously moving the bridge slightly means this string is now going to be a different length, so it's going to be different tuning. So I move it slightly, retune the bass, check it, check the octave. That seems to be right now. Let's try. Great. Now if it was flat, I'd have to move it forward. Now let me just check the scale length there. It's just over 15 inches from the 12th fret, which means just over 30 inches overall. And that is fine because obviously there's a little bit of give because of the thickness of the strings, the gauge of the string. Great, well thanks for watching. Now if you're interested in this Hofner bass, I've got a whole lot of videos that I've made about it since it's come into my workshop, and I've been doing some work on it, including relicking it. So do check out this playlist here. And until next time, happy strumming.